All right. What's up, Turtle Riders? How's everybody doing tonight? Good? How's the crowd looking tonight? We're up to 70. Okay, all right. So I've gone ahead, guys, and I've shared the link to this show, this stream on the Turtleboy Sports page, Facebook page. I got 3 separate Facebook pages now. The Uncle Turtleboy page, Turtleboy Sports Forever, which has like 27,500 followers, but it only gains like 100 to 200 followers a week, which is just weak. I used to gain like, 300 a day back in the old days. So it's kind of depressing. Only I don't know if it's just hidden or what's wrong with it, but it gains no traction. Maybe I just have too many pages. Maybe that's a problem. I don't know. But I also have this page, Turtleboy Sports, that Turtle Rider made for me. It's been around for a while, and I didn't even know it existed. But he gave it to me. He handed it off to me with like 8,000 followers. And it's been on fire. So go ahead, and I've shared it on the Turtleboy Sports page, as well as the Clarence Woods Emerson Facebook page. So do me a favor, share that up. Smash that like button. What are we up to for likes right now, huh? We got a lot of likes right now. Let's see. Let's find out. 11 likes. That's not good. So let's get that up. Maybe there's more. I don't know. My phone's I got a FUPA phone situation going on. What are we up to? Okay, 35 likes. That's much better. 35 likes. So share that up for me. I'm also sharing it on Twitter at RealUncleTV. Follow me there if you're not already. Gaining some traction in the Twitter world. A lot of good shit going on. So yeah, let's just get started, guys. Let's jump right in. By the way, if you guys feel like donating to the Turtle Fund, I am going to go ahead and drop it right there. All right, so yeah, there's the Turtle Fund. Go ahead and if you feel like donating to that, if you write a message, I will read whatever message you put out there out loud. Okay, yeah, with that said, yeah, that's used. Like I started that link obviously for the million freaking lawsuits I'm in, which by the way, some of them are starting to pick up now again, now that courts are back open. One of them has been resolved. Almost officially. I just have to sign an agreement. The thing about it is I cannot talk about it. I can't give you any details about it. If I do, I violate the agreement. But it's the biggest one, okay? It was the one that kept me up at night the most. So you can figure out what that is. But as part of the agreement, I'm taking down all the blogs involved with that and just moving on. Because it's not worth thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to continue to litigate with people who are, have unlimited funds. I can't do that. It's a stupid business move. I mean, who cares? We're moving on to the next one, right? Who gives a shit? The point's been made. So I can't say why. I mean, it sucks because I'm the guy that likes to talk about everything, but can't do it. So it is what it is. But just understand that, like, without your support, this couldn't have happened. So, because this lawsuit alone was like 30 G's, unbelievable, just to get this freaking agreement to go away. So, anyway, let's get started on the first topic. First thing I want to talk about is the situation, obviously, in Hingham. So let me bring that up. This is the one that's been dominating the turtle sphere. All right. So today in Hingham, you might have seen that let's pull it up here. I got the video of what happened. I'll pull the video. I'll show you guys the video first. Check out this video. This is what happens in Hingham today. The Weymouth police went and picked up the thin blue line flag from the Hingham police. If you're not following the story, quick rundown. Some asshole named Max Giarusso, 20-year-old shithead, decides that he's offended by the fact that the Hingham Fire Department, one or two of the trucks has a thin blue line flag on it, which is flown in memory of Sergeant Michael Chestnut from the Weymouth Police Department. And they're a neighboring town. It's a nice show of solidarity between unions. Nice gesture, obviously. But this guy decides that it's racist because, his gender studies professor at college told him that. And so he thinks he's doing his job to fight racism by doing this because it's been, quote unquote, co-opted by white nationalists. That's their new favorite word, co-opted. They take, previously harmless things like the OK sign or Pepe the Frog, and then they decide that, well, white nationalists on 4chan have decided to start using this, as a joke to see if we would ban it all outright. And we're doing exactly what they want. So now we've decided that this is a symbol, like supporting dead police officers is somehow a symbol of white supremacy. This should be ignored. This should be laughed at. But we're not living in that kind of world. And Hingham is not one of those towns. Hingham sounds like a dreadful place to live. I'm sure it's quite lovely, but I would not want to live amongst people like this. No offense. So Weymouth is a little bit more blue collar. It's a bigger city. And no offense, but I think it's got better people in it. No offense to my Hingham Turtle Riders, but it's true. So Weymouth is like, we'll gladly take that flag back because credit to the Hingham Fire Department. They were the real heroes here. Like they refused to bend the knee and hand this flag over to some town administrator hack, right? Instead, they had a ceremony this morning, almost a passing of the torch. The Weymouth police drove over there. There was over 100 police officers, firefighters, stuff like that, citizens, to actually watch what happened here. I mean, it's fucking pathetic that this had to happen. So let's check it out. Yeah, this is like unbelievable. It's like we're leaving Saigon. So they're taking the flag down there off of one truck. I do like how they made a big spectacle of this, I like the way they did it. Like those are Weymouth police officers. They're going to get the flag. I mean, this is humiliating for the town of Hingham. So humiliating. That your neighbors to the west had to come in and take out this flag because your town which is 98% white and 0.4% black, has decided that the thin blue line honoring the life of people like Ron Tarantino, Sean Gannon, and Michael Chestnut was somehow racist. Somehow. It doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, great job by the Hingham Fire Department. It's just, they could have caved. They easily could have caved to the mob. They just outright refused to. They weren't going to deal with it. Then today, the union statewide for firefighters came out and condemned what happened. Same thing, right? Stood by Hingham Fire Department. I mean, this is a fucking joke. I'm glad to see people are fighting back against this shit. The town of Rutland today put out like a very, very strongly worded statement. All 5 selectmen signed it, basically supporting the police. Keep in mind, Rutland is another place where a police officer, detective, died a couple months ago from COVID. So, essential workers, right? He's out there working. He caught the commie cold. He died, unfortunately. But, teachers don't want to go back because they might get sick. But cops are out there every single day doing this. And this is the madness of this all. And I say this as a former teacher, is that like I've always been, we're always told teachers are heroes. And I kind of believe that because I was one. But I thought nurses shame themselves with the TikTok videos and the I go to work for you, stay the fuck home for me. I thought they were embarrassing. No, nobody has humiliated themselves more than public school teacher unions right now. It is fucking shameful what they're doing. Absolutely shameful. You're not a hero. You're a fucking coward. You're afraid to go to school because you might get sick. Boo fucking who? Welcome to reality. Look at all these people going to work every single day. They didn't get any time off. They didn't get the $600 unemployment check, right? They didn't get to do Zoom meetings. No, they went every single day because crackheads and criminals don't take days off, and neither do fires. So there you go. Anyway, so that was humiliating. That was absolutely humiliating for the town of Weymouth. So let's see why. Let's check out the blog. like I tossed up there this morning. So it all starts with this puke, and we've been over him before. Max Giarusso. Max Giarusso text messages our guy, Dan Nardo, who I had on the show the other day, and Dan's very polite to him. And he says, "Hi, Max. I'm sure you know who I am by now. I know you're getting a lot of slack, which is not fair for voicing your opinion, even if it's an unpopular one. I heard today that you may be interested in apologizing to the police department for not understanding the meaning of the flag. If this is true, I would be happy to back you and help you with your message. All the best, Dan." I mean, that's a nicely, respectfully worded letter. You know, it's being forgiving. And when I first read it, I'm like, oh, the kid realized he fucked up. Maybe he genuinely realized that, like, oh, that's not what the flag means, huh? No. But his response was one of the most pompous douchebag college boy responses I've ever seen in my life. He goes, "Hi, Dan. I appreciate and respect you reaching out in good faith. However, after reading the letter you sent to the town, it seems to me that you are very misinformed and misguided. I have no intention of apologizing for the letter I wrote and would not like to be associated with you by any means, so I will not be taking you up on this offer." Oh, you little cocksucker, you. Oh, you little cocksucker. The letter that Dan Nardo wrote was like respectfully worded to the town, like it was like an adult wrote it. Like there was nothing controversial about it. He just wanted to know why this was being ordered to come down, etc. Why other signs were allowed to be up in violation of town codes. But this is not. Like, well, how does that make any sense? And this guy just writes back, "I will not be apologizing for the letter I wrote. I will not be taking you up on your offer." Like, oh, okay, fuck you then. And then he lectures Dan Nardo. So keep in mind, Dan Nardo, successful business owner, you know, doesn't live with mom and dad. He knows a lot more about the world in general than this shithead who goes to college and is living in fantasy land, because that's all college is. It's fantasy land. It's not real. It's a 4-year vacation before you graduate with a shitload of debt. And obviously whatever he's majoring in is useless because he's a fucking moron, as we've seen. Like, this is a uneducated swine. So he goes on to say, "I will close with offering you some historical context." He's the smart one here. "The swastika was once a religious symbol of peace and spirituality until the Nazis adopted it. And now it is a symbol of hate. Similarly, the thin blue line may have once been a symbol of support for the police, but when Blue Lives Matter adopted it for their movement in 2014, it became a symbol of hate and a direct counter to the Black Lives Matter." Oh, fuck off. You were like 12 in 2014. First of all, it's not even true. It's not even true. And secondly, even if it was, who the fuck cares? Blue Lives Matter is a hate group? Blue Lives Matter is a group that thinks that police lives should matter. What the fuck is wrong with that? Again, fact, not opinion. More police officers have been killed in this state than unarmed black men. In the last 5 years, we've had 0 unarmed black men killed in the state, 3 cops. So neither is an epidemic, but one is infinitely more problematic than the other because it's literally not happening here. This kid, of course, doesn't know that. And for him to equate a swastika to the thin blue line flag, that is insane. That is insane. So, we're going to call this motherfucker right now. Because I felt, people are like, oh, you doxed him. No, obviously he deserved it. This shit for brains little bitch deserved it. We're calling him right now. I don't care that I posted his number either. He can fuck off. I mean, his parents should be ashamed of themselves. Absolutely ashamed of themselves for raising such a useless fucking punk. If my kids ever acted like that towards police officers in my town and towards the fire department, I would disown them. Fuck you. 781-724-9854. Okay, just me. Nobody else. We're calling him.
The mailbox belonging to 78172.
I'll text him. What should I send him a text? I'll send him a text. I need a trick. Hey, this is give me a trick, guys. What can I text him? This is Art Vandelay. Hi, Max. This is, let's see. Come on, my Fupa phone. Hi, Max. Let's see. Come on. This fucking phone. It's acting all screwy. I can't do the voice to text. This is Art Vandelay. Come on. Fucking phone. Art Vandelay. Let's see if you can fucking Christ, this phone. I'm gonna get it. I need a new phone, guys. All right, let's see if he can get back to me. I just texted him that. All right, so fuck him. Moving on with this story here. Then there is a meeting that happens at the night, and it's it's done over Zoom call. Now, keep in mind, the woman who runs the Board of Selectmen in this town, Power is her name, I think Mary Power. Her husband was at the protest, Dan Power, holding a Black Lives Matter sign in their faces. He forgot to tell anyone else that he was his wife's on the Board of Selectmen. He forgot to mention that. Kind of matters. So they have this little freaking meeting, and all these people call in, except the deck is clearly stacked. Now, if you were to just gauge public opinion on social media or whatever, you would probably guess that the majority of people, even like my liberal friends out there, like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is absurd. Like, considering the circumstances, considering it's right next door to Weymouth, like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, who would defend us? Yet it is almost unanimous opinion for people who call up. The Board of Selectmen is all in favor of it. All three of them. Every single person except for Dan Nardo who calls up is in favor of it. And we got to see some of these people. I mean, it's like these people can't be real. Let's check out firstly, Lori Freeman.
That in May. I don't think the board had another choice. And I just also want to say, as a mother and a resident, I stand up in support of sons and daughters of Hingham families who write respectful letters to the board expressing their concerns about the inclusivity of the Hingham community. And I am shocked to hear the vicious attacks that the Hingham families received for their son daring to express his opinion of support of Black Lives to the board. I just want to thank the young man for his actions.
He's the hero.
I apologize to him on behalf of us older adults that he is being treated in such an outrageous manner. Thank you so much.
They're all like this. Somebody said,
thank you, Ms. Freeman. I would just add that, the citizen that wrote a letter to the town was doing what we hope citizens will do.
No, he wasn't. He was being a little bitch.
Crafting a respectful letter.
Respectful.
That expressed some concerns, asked some questions.
Shut the fuck up. He was not
this is
concerns.
How we want people to engage in our government. And if we want to keep people engaged in government, and in particular, if we want to keep,
it's funny because they've a lot of other turtle riders have since emailed them, and they've ignored all their emails. It's funny how they only want to engage certain people in government.
Growing, we want to keep everybody engaged. People shouldn't be subjected to that.
Boo fucking who? Here's the idiot chief.
Okay, I recognize.
Okay. Chief Glenn Olson, President of Hingham 8 Amber Road. Since the beginning of this, we have been in contact with the individual and his family several different times, multiple times. Not only the town manager, myself, I believe he may have spoken to a selectman. We have also kept in touch with the family, and we have taken police reports from them documenting these incidents.
Oh yeah, they're the victim here.
And we've been in contact with them, and we have added patrols to the area.
Oh yeah.
Today there was a protest type or vigil or rally at the station, part of our planning during that.
Yeah, to support your officers. This is the police chief.
The area where they live. So yes, we are. I feel right now the family is happy with the services we're providing, and I think it's they still have a lot of respect for the officers.
I mean, think of the irony of this. This guy who hates the cops and thinks cops are offensive is literally getting, Secret Service type treatment. The police are going up and down their street to make sure this little shithead is okay. Not that anybody's threatening him. Nobody's threatening him. Are you kidding me? But he's getting all this shit. But he hates the police. Remember that. He wants to defund the police. He's part of this movement. He's part of Black Lives Matter. He supports them. And this bumbling fool, hack, he's not a cop. He's a fake cop. All police chiefs are. They haven't been on the street in a long time. This guy's it's mostly his fault. I mean, he's the one that literally responded to this email. It's like, oh, we better take this down. Somebody wrote a complaint. He wrote an email. I better do something about it.
And I think we're in good shape. And I think they're happy with the services right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure they're not happy that this has happened to them, and that's unfortunate. And I think we all feel that that's very unfortunate that they became victims.
Yeah, there's other chicks. Let's see.
The Hingham Unity Council was formed to encourage
this
people
chick's
to
not
have
as bad. I gotta
meaningful
find the girl.
in-person discussions.
The really bad. Okay, so the next one, this woman,
Join you in
something
this
Smith,
statement.
Melissa Smith. She's
I
running
would
for
like to
state rep.
recognize Melissa Smith.
Check this one out.
Hi.
Oh crap! I just realized it's not on. Is it? Is it on? We on the right thing? Let's see. Okay, it is on. I don't know why this hasn't refreshed. Okay, let's put it back.
Thank you so much. I emailed to you guys all earlier today, but thank you so much to the select people and also to the chiefs. I believe that Hingham is very much with you in this decision, and I think that it represents a sort of distancing from the potential racism associated with this particular flag in the way that it is presented by white supremacists, to echo some comments that were made earlier. I was at the rally this afternoon. I felt like it was not a great idea to engage, but I went because some local town folk were going to be alone, and I did not want them to be alone, and I wanted to make sure it was civil, and I was incredibly impressed by the police officers who were there and the way in which they kept things distant. But I also heard some very disturbing things from the people who were supporting the flying of this flag.
Of course she's going to villainize them.
Tremendous amount of discussion
what'd they say?
Of totally off-topic things. Trump's re-election.
Oh, no.
Abortion.
Oh, my God.
The color of people's eyes.
Oh, my God. They talked about abortion and Trump's re-election in an election year? Oh, my fucking God. That's so disturbing. Go on, dear.
Also, some fairly significant, what felt like racist conversation directed at a Black woman that was standing here.
Oh, the one who was screaming at Mimi Chestnut.
That
really
one proves the point that it was wise for our select board and for our chiefs to distance themselves from this particular flag. I do also want to make the point that the pride flag and this flag with its multiple meanings.
Multiple meanings? It means one fucking thing.
And I look forward to a very comprehensive and
shut the fuck up.
Flag flying policy to come from the Board of Selectmen. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. That I think can
shut up. Next. Next. Oh, this. Where do you see this chick? Katie Sutton. She's a real gem too.
Versus a flag that is being flown in order to create a more inclusive community. By the way, I forgot to say I'm at 223 South Street.
Thank you. Thank you, Melissa.
Check out the next one. Katie Sutton.
Katie Sutton.
Hey.
None of these people have ever lived around a black
Katie
person.
Sutton, 245 11th Street.
Okay.
I want to first really thank the members.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Could we just stop right there? Good Lord, lady. It's like the My Pillow guy built an office under her fucking eyes. Jesus Christ. Go on. It's distracting.
And Chiefs Olson and Murphy for your service to our town and for your really hard work on this sensitive issue. I'm quite sure that the last few days have not been fun or easy for you. And I also want to recognize the service of the police and fire departments to our town and thank you. And I want to thank the young man who brought this to everyone's
Oh my
attention,
God, this
because
fucking
he
kid's a
was most
hero.
certainly not
Jesus.
the only one who questions its implications. I support the decision to move this flag from
shocking.
our town property.
Well, fuck you then.
I really do appreciate that it means different things to different people.
No, it means one thing.
But for that
That's
very
it.
reason, at the end of the day, I think it does not make sense for our government to be deciding what a symbol means to an entire community.
No, you're right.
I want to live in a
Totally
community that
agree. It is not up to the government to decide what a symbol means to the community. Yes, because it has a fucking meaning already. It honors dead cops. It's really, 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 really simple. That's it. That's it. If somebody else thinks it means something else, the government does not have to decide that, because that's a stupid opinion that doesn't have to be taken seriously. The government doesn't have to come in and arbitrate whether or not that opinion is true or not, because it's just not true. It's an undeniable fact. It means that it honors dead police officers.
Welcome to everyone and where everyone feels safe. And I think the decision to remove it is the right one. And I'm really grateful to have such
like
good leadership
Confederate
at our
statue
town
or
hall
something.
and for our police and fire departments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
I'm looking down
Let's see if
and
we
I
can
don't
find
see
another
any
one.
other.
All right, wait till you see this
things
gem.
that are-
So this chick showed up in a gas mask, and she saw Rayla Campbell there. You know they hate Rayla. And Rayla Campbell was there, and she was taking pictures with the cops in her American flag dress because she supports the police. And, this upset her. So she wants to take a picture with the police. She videotaped herself holding the Black Lives Matter sign, and the cops refused because they're not, are you kidding me? Obviously they're not going to do that. You might as well just pose with a sign that says, fuck the police. And keep in mind, Rayla Campbell was not holding a sign when she posed for pictures with him. This chick does not understand that. Let's listen to what she says.
I'd like to recognize Hannah Connolly, please.
This chick's a real gem.
Sorry, I'm here.
Ms. Connolly, welcome.
Hi, my name's Hannah Connolly. I'm at 25 Cedar Street. I'm so thankful to the select people and to Chief for everything that you guys are working hard on. I just wanted to comment. I also was at the protest today, and there were a lot of things that were very upsetting. One of which my black friend was singled out.
My black friend.
They told us, they pointed to each of us and told us that they never want to see us. This man never wants to see us again, and especially Brown Eyes. He kept calling her Brown Eyes.
I don't believe that for a second.
It was just absolutely disgusting.
Oh my God, yes.
Opinion.
Because only black people have brown eyes.
There was
White
another
people
woman there,
never have brown eyes, ever.
Diana Ploss. She
oh
was
God,
also,
Diana was there. No, I'm sorry.
She's been on the news. She lost her job because she said Spanish people.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be speaking Spanish in the United States.
We're not
but
associated.
On top of that, after that very
Plus.
upsetting experience, at the end, the police took a picture with Rayla Campbell, who's the 7th. She's running for the 7th congressional district with the Blue Lives Matter flag, the thin blue line. And I found that very upsetting because when I saw that, I asked if they would take a picture of me with.
First, I don't know where Rayla's getting all these outfits from. She's got like a different cop or America outfit every day of the week. She was wearing literally a thin blue line dress. So she was not wearing or waving a flag. She wears the flag. She was literally had a thin blue line dress on. So she wasn't holding anything. And this pisses her off. They fucking hate Rayla Campbell. They're constantly targeting her. These racist white women. That's every single one of these women you're seeing right now is a fucking racist. And because fuck that. We're flipping the word around on them. We've been called racist and we know we're not for so long. When in reality, the people who seem to always target the one black woman that's there, maybe they're the racists. Maybe that. Maybe the people that treat black people like they're like a monolith, right? That they all think and feel the same way and they all need protection from brave white women named Hannah Connolly from Hingham to protect them from these dangerous police officers who want to protect them from crime. Oh my God, go on.
The Black Lives Matter sign, to which they all dispersed. I asked another officer, I asked his name. He wouldn't give me his name. He did eventually, but
okay. So he did give you his name.
Then
okay.
I asked another officer, why, and he basically just said no and walked away.
Yeah. So, really? Okay.
Just very upsetting,
the white girl
from Hingham.
Oh yeah.
And someone who supports human rights.
Yeah.
And supports the people in this town and all the people in this town.
Not the cops.
It was just
something I think that should be mentioned as well.
What
Thank
should be
you.
mentioned?
And did you
What
have,
happened?
in terms
Nothing
of the matter
fucking
before the meeting tonight, and I'm not trying to minimize your comments in any way, but I do want to kind of keep
I'm
focused
support of
on the flags. Did you have anything else to add on that?
No, the next chick is my favorite.
Am I unmuting?
Wait till you see this one. Oh my God, what a
Yes,
gem.
yes.
Lisa Shetty.
Thank you.
You could not pick a whiter woman in this. Now, I went on her Facebook page. She's married to an Indian guy. Okay. She's obviously, I mean, just look at her living room there, right? That is a wealthy woman's living room, if I've ever seen. Nice furniture there. I like the curtains. By the way, a lot of these people have like art and shit on the walls. I don't know if you do you guys have art on your walls? Maybe that's just a Hingham thing. I don't know. I don't think art on my walls. If you have art on your walls, I kind of think you're a pretentious douchebag. No offense to anybody that has art on the walls. But anyway, just this whole woman's persona, the way she talks, she's wearing the goddamn scarf like she's Dr. Burke's, the glasses. You cannot get any whiter than this woman. It is so pathetic. Now listen to what she says.
Thank you so much to the chiefs of police and fire department, and thank you to the selectmen for running this meeting tonight and listening to all of our concerns. I appreciate it, and I know you have your hands full with so many issues going on all at the same time. It seems impossible. I have excellent memories of my family with both the police and the fire departments, and I'm forever grateful for their service and their quick response. And my participation in the rally today in support of Black Lives Matter is in no way meant to mean that I do not support the police department.
Time out right there. Yes, it does. That's what these people don't understand. Black Lives Matter in their Bill of Rights or Declaration of Purpose literally says abolish police, abolish prisons, abolish the nuclear family, abolish capitalism. Your association in support of Black Lives Matter, the organization, not the concept of Black Lives Matter, the organization, your support of them means that you are making that statement towards the police. So it certainly does mean that, you uneducated swine. Go on.
Or the fire department, which I really can't even believe that the fire department is now roped into this. But my question is a couple different folds to it. So in Joe Fisher's statement, he seemed to, for lack of a better word, sort of deflect the decision-making about removing that thin blue line flag over to the chiefs of police and fire department. So one of my questions is, why? Like, who's in charge? Who makes those decisions? Who do the chiefs of police and the chief of the fire department answer to?
They just felt like putting a flag.
They answer to nobody. I
That's
can't
Wait,
really understand how
they're acting like this is like the biggest fucking decision. They're like, it's the 2-year anniversary of Michael Chestnut's murder. Yeah, we're going to fly the flag. I didn't think we had to get it fucking approved by the voters of Hingham. Look at that face. Good Lord. By the voters of Hingham before doing so. I guess you do, though. Go on.
Full bureaucracy, for lack of a better word, works. And then the other thing is, right now that flag is still flying on the back of the fire truck.
Yes, it is.
And I believe it was, I'm not going to, Mellinson maybe, firefighter Mellinson.
Yes, firefighter Mellinson
made a statement on the Hingham firefighters local Facebook page that it will not be removed by anybody from the fire department.
Yes.
And so today the fire department decided it was okay to participate in that rally, a political rally, by driving that fire truck multiple times up Central Street, past Town Hall, with that flag.
Oh my God.
Together with the American flag.
Oh my God, even worse.
So that's my question. You know, why were they allowed to engage in the political rally?
Think of how fucking easy and sheltered your life is, that you have the time to give a shit about this. That you saw a fire truck driving up through Main Street with a Blue Lives Matter flag or a thin blue line flag and the American flag on it. And you're like, this fucking upsets me. You know what I'm going to do tonight? I'm going to block off 2 hours of my time to sit in front of my computer in my dining room or living room or whatever sitting room this is with the piano in the background. Oh, God, this chick. I'm going to do that because this is the biggest issue in my life right now. I mean, do these people have any idea how elitist they sound? Like they're just so, they're so far away from reality that the rest of the world is living in. The fact that this is something that they have time to get upset about. It's like they don't even see how racist and privileged they are. Go on.
And when I asked a police officer a question about the flag and, you know, the way I saw it, and I wanted to ask him what his thoughts were, he said, I can't engage. And I said, well, I completely respect that, but you know, I have to ask you because you're here and you're a police officer, and this is why we're all here. Yeah, it was okay for the police to engage with the Back the Blue protesters to take that photo.
Rayla Campbell.
Were the police allowed to engage in the political rally when they were just supposed to be there as to serve and protect?
She's so fucking mad about this goddamn picture. Why did the police pose for a picture with Rayla Campbell? Why did they participate in the rally? Bitch, because she asked them to take a picture. Do you understand that? And when you're part of an organization that is there to support the police, they're going to fucking like you. It's not that hard to understand. They might take a picture with you if you ask nicely. But if you show up with the sign that says Black Lives Matter, which talk about symbols, right? How come symbols don't matter to them, right? Like if police are offended by Black Lives Matter signs, then how come that's allowed to fly on town property? You tell me. So she goes on.
And then the other point I just want to emphasize is on my own social media platforms, I've warned and railed, and I'm grateful to the other people on here who talked about the infiltration of white supremacy into the police departments. The FBI has warned about this for over the last 15 years, and I think Hingham needs to, we might not think we have a problem with that. We don't know. And I think that it is something that we need to concern ourselves with because it's...
Imagine that. Oh my God. I cannot believe this really happened. That Hingham has like white supremacists have infiltrated the Hingham Police Department. This is literally what she just said. They've infiltrated the Hingham Police Department because of a fucking flag on a fire truck that has nothing to do with the Hingham Police. They're not even flying it. They weren't even really associated with this. The fire department was. And I love how she leads into that with, as you know, I post a lot on Facebook. You go to her Facebook, it's just her posting shit from the Huffington Post and Occupy Democrats and just, you know, stupid, meaningless, thoughtless propaganda. It's it. And her brain is completely washed. She probably has no idea what Black Lives Matter even means or that riots are going on or anything like that because she's living in goddamn Hingham. And look at this woman. Jesus Christ, that there's white supremacists in the Hingham police and it needs to be investigated. This is what she thinks is the biggest problem in Hingham right now. Madness.
It's really hard for police departments all across the country to get qualified, good police officers, and they start having to dip into pools that are maybe a little less savory. And we really need to address this.
Okay. Thank you very much. So there were a couple of questions here, and I'm going to go through.
Oh my God! Any other good ones?
Each kind of one by one, and
one more good one. I think Maddie Cooper.
I did just want to comment. It's been my personal experience being on the board. This is my 6th year on the board.
Here's Maddie Cooper.
I would 70 Central Street in Norwell.
So she's from Norwell, not even.
Hingham, and I still have very close ties with the community. I would first like to say that I have the utmost respect for the police and fire departments in Hingham.
No, you don't.
And I want to be here today to show that respect. I would also like to thank Hannah Connolly, Melissa Smith, and Lisa Hardy for their comments that they made about their experience today at the rally. I think that those were very important perspectives to hear and experiences to hear in this group right now.
Imagine believing this shit.
I also would like to say that as much as I want to show my support with the police officers in Hingham, and I do not believe that the blue line flag is the way to do it. And I would like to find some other way to show my support and divide myself from that flag.
So she says she supports the police. She wants to show support for the police. She just doesn't want to do it with the flag that was created to show support for police. Why? Because it's been co-opted by white nationalists, even though it hasn't, because they're literally just making shit up as they go along.
But let the police officers know that I am there in complete support of them.
Oh, they care.
They care. And I'd like to be able to work with the police and have the police work with the community to show that we are not in line with the white supremacists. 99%
chance this chick's a vegan, by the way. Go ahead. 99% what? White supremacists? Is that what she said?
Supremacists that have taken over the blue line flag.
Oh, the white supremacists have taken over the blue line flag, of course.
Next,
of course.
I'd like to
I mean, look at it. Here's another one.
It seemed to snowball a bit based on kind of this inability to follow through one way or the other, why they wouldn't. And I guess what concerns me a little bit is just how that kind of puts out this idea that we're not a community, but they're kind of making a decision independent of the community and that they can trump what the town and the policy is.
Guys, they didn't contact her about the flag. The fire department didn't. That's the problem. The fire department didn't contact CSM here about the freaking flag. They should have run it by her first.
And
another one.
Dialogue with the fire union. And as far as the police, the
on my list is Ellen Whalen.
Ellen. Let's see what Ellen has to say.
Sorry, Ms. Weymouth is back.
Okay, I will.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I was having trouble unmuting my hand.
Okay.
Ms. Weymouth, and then we'll hear from Ms. Whalen after.
Jenny Weymouth, 179 Main Street. Thank you all. Thank you all to the comments we've shared tonight. I'm in support of the decisions that were made. I'm following up on the last question about.
Anyway, it's the same shit. It's all these ridiculous white women. I don't even want to bother with them anymore. I do want to take this opportunity to just give a shout out to a couple people who made this episode possible with some donos here. First, we have 7 Pounder who says, I support the blue. I do not support I cannot say that. I said I'd say anything on here, Stephen, but he referenced the lawsuit that was dropped, and I cannot reference that. So he does not support that person. I would like everyone listening to hit that dono button whenever they listen to the live show. Holding a fish is not the new flat brim bull's hat. So I am busting balls when I say that, but it's kind of true, Stephen. You know it's true. That it's a trend I've started to notice is that rural ratchets, the flat brim bull's hat for them is the look at my fish. That is kind of becoming a trend. Just saying. Llama says, greetings from a trawler in the Atlantic. Greetings. Patty says, because you're the only real journalist with the balls to tell the truth. Well, thank you, Patty. We will continue doing that because somebody has to tell the truth. And Nick says that I am his spirit animal. So thank you, Nick. I really appreciate that as well. All right, let's go on to the other topic I want to talk about. The first district to officially cancel school has come to light, and it is the city of Leominster. So let's talk about this for a moment, because the ball is going to start rolling now. By August 10th in Massachusetts, every school district has to give their plan to the DESE and state whether or not what they're going to do for school. Like my wife's reading this stuff every day, school committee meetings. They're balancing whether or not to there's different plans. You can go remote learning. You can do half and half where it's there's a lot of different plans you could type. I'm pissed about it because now, like, my kid's going to be denied that first day of kindergarten shit. I mean, that sucks, you know? And they want to know if we're riding the bus because not all the kids can fit on the bus now because of stupid COVID, which is ridiculous, by the way. Ridiculous because, like, do they not understand kids are going to, like, touch each other and shit in school? You cannot stop children from interacting. It's not going to happen. So just give it up, right? Just give it up. Anyway, so Leominster decides that they are going to be the first school district to make a decision about what to do. And this evening, the Leominster School Committee, in a 5-4 vote, very close, voted to have a fully remote learning plan to begin fiscal year 21 school year. So that goes until November 6th, which happens to be 3 days after the election, which I've been saying it from the beginning. That is the plan, is just hold out. I mean, I'm convinced at this point that everything that they're doing now is to just make Trump look bad. That's it. It is. I mean, sometimes he makes it easy for them. Don't get me wrong. But the more that they can blame on him, they'll just say, look, our kids aren't back in school. The schools are still closed because of all the commie calls going around. It's Trump's fault. He did this. He was asleep at the wheel. It's nonsense. Sure, Andrew Cuomo killed a bunch of people in a freaking nursing home, and so did Charlie Baker and Phil Murphy. But it's all Trump's fault. So anyway, Leominster decides that they are going to become the first district. Let me blow this up a little bit. To implement this policy. Now, I'm reading the comments about it, and these are some great points that parents are making here, because this is fucked up, right? This is fucked up. The more I think about this, because I'm like talking to my wife. So she's a teacher, and if her district goes back fully or whatever, she has to go to school every day. Either way, she can be in school most days. So my daughter's got to get to school, right? What if Wachusett district, which is where we live, what if their policy for school is different from my wife's, right? What if Wachusett chooses to do remote learning and my wife's district does in school, right? Who's going to watch my 5-year-old daughter all day? Me. I'm going to have to, like, I'm running a fucking business here. My daughter she's 5. She can't do a Zoom call. I'd have to literally, I mean, how do kindergartners do a goddamn Zoom call anyway? Their parents must be sitting next to them the entire time, right? How can a kindergartner do a goddamn Zoom call? And the people doing this stuff, the people that instituted these policies, they just gave no thought whatsoever. I'm far from the only person with this predicament. Most people are back to work. And to fuck around with them like this, like, if you have a job that's like every day, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, I got to be at work. But my kid's school district isn't telling me what days they're going to be in. So somebody's got to stay at home with my kid. They're 5, they're 6 years old. Somebody's got to stay at home with them. What am I going to do? What happens if your school, so if you're in Leominster, right, and you're a working parent, you have to be at your job every day. It's been bad enough the last few months. Like your workplace is back to work because you're not in a union and you don't have the ability to just say, fuck it, we're not coming back because we're afraid we're going to die. You don't have that option. Too bad. Now what do you do? I mean, these are legitimate complaints that I'm reading from parents here. The best decision would have been a decision made by the individual families with an option for in-person and remote. This would have been addressed some of the more ugly and difficult situations family and students could be facing. I strongly believe the decision will hurt many children and strain many more families. Exactly. But they don't care about that. Thank you for the full destruction of my autistic daughter's mental health. She needs her routines in school. Thank you for sending out a survey and then not listening to parents. She needs her teachers and social aspects, even if it's 6 feet apart. This is a very poor decision. Thank you, Audra. That is a perfectly valid. I mean, it breaks my heart reading that, right? This is an elitist decision to do something like this, to say that kids shouldn't be back in school. Well, the kids that are going to be hurt the most by that are kids who are special needs, that need that in-person learning more than anybody else. Kids coming from impoverished backgrounds, and disproportionately students of color. They are going to be hurt in a negative way by this. The kids in Lincoln, Sudbury, whoever, they can just hire a tutor, right? Have the nanny do it. They'll watch the kids. They'll sit in on the Zoom meetings. You won't miss a beat. I mean, it's a perfectly legitimate thing. The thing she mentions here, routines, wicked important. I mean, school is not just about, you don't remember anything that you learned in school. Like, I taught history, right? But I don't remember much of what I learned in high school in anything. I mean, I took pre-calculus, I took, AP Chem. I took a lot of shit, heavy classes. I don't remember anything. Like almost nothing. But that's your brain. Our brain doesn't function that way. What you learn are skills in school. High school especially teaches you skills. That the fact that a bell goes off and you know that you have 3 minutes until that bell rings again, and you need to get to your class, but your locker's over here, right? You need to plan. Like, that requires strategy. That requires planning. When you're sitting in a classroom and at any moment your teacher could call on you. What I used to do in my classroom, right, is first day of school, I gave them all a ping pong ball, and they would write the names on a ping pong ball, right? And then they give them to me, and I put them in a big freaking bin. And to keep them on their toes, because I'm constantly calling on kids, asking them questions. I want when you ask, like, who knows the answer to this question, it's the same 3 kids that answer every single time. So you want all kids to participate. You got to keep them on their toes. So I just had a freaking, like, it was like the lottery. Like, I would just pull balls out. Like, I would ask, anybody know? Nobody answers. It's the same kids. Okay, pull a ball out. Boom. Oh, you're this kid, That's how they get their participation grade from me. And that's important, to be able to just be on your toes, to know that at any moment you could be called on, right? So you need to be paying attention. You need to be on, like, that is a life skill that you take with you everywhere you go. Every job you're ever going to have. And it's just gone. Like, we're just acting like these things aren't important, right? These things aren't important. The structure that comes from being in school, right? That if I don't get there in time, I'm going to have detention. There's going to be consequences to pay for this. Because that's the way life works. If you're late for your job too many times, you're going to get fired. Unless you're a teacher, then you don't have to go to work, apparently. Another comment from Felicia says, what happens to all the special needs kids who have significantly regressed and who remote learning does not work for? How are you going to receive FAPE and appropriate services? Also, how did this decision happen when 83% of the parents preferred all in-person learning or hybrid, and 70% of staff, and that's the other thing that's interesting about this, is that they gave these parents the survey, and 83% of them said that they wanted this, right? They don't want this. They want it to be in school. 70% of teachers did. So good for the Leominster teachers for the most part. Or like, they wanted to be back in the classroom. And then the school committee just said, fuck it. No, I mean, and there's absolutely no basis for it. 0 kids in this state have died from COVID. They don't die from it. They have strong immune systems. They don't die. There is 0 record of any kid ever passing on COVID in any country in the world to a teacher. That's not to say it's not possible, but there is no record of it. But they just don't care. They don't listen to anyone. But let's see what the student says. As a student, thank you, because I know it must be difficult to make this decision. And having 2,000 plus students in a high school, Leominster is the largest high school in central Massachusetts, who constantly do many different things where the virus can easily spread very fast, is scary. I mean, listen, honey, nice kid, but you shouldn't be scared of the virus. You have nothing to worry about. What are you scared of? They're so misinformed about what this virus is. And it's just like, well, of course you're happy. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to go. It's easy for you. You don't have grown-up things to worry about. Another one says, how do I get teacher pay so I can stay home and teach my kids? That's another thing too. That's another thing. Shouldn't parents like get a stipend for this then? Like if I had to take time out of my day, that's time is money, to teach my daughter. Like, I got to be the teacher. That's your job. Your job is to be the educator. So these are really, really legit. Legit. I mean, go through them. It's crazy. So this is Leominster. They have set the ball in motion. We will see what other districts do. They will not be the last ones to do this. I will guarantee you that much. I will guarantee you that much. I don't mind the hybrid models as much because, quite frankly, what I think is going to happen with the hybrid models is that after 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe a month of you go twice a week or whatever the plan is there, they're going to see that nobody's getting sick, nobody's dying, nobody's getting sick, and they're going to see with their own eyes that they've been lied to by the media, that this whole thing is not a hoax, but it is a greatly exaggerated pandemic. This is not the Black Plague. This is commie cold, right? If you're morbidly obese, you should be worried about it. If you have, if you're 85 years old and living in a nursing home, you should be worried about it. But for the most part, you really don't have much to worry about. You just can't live life that way. Sure, you could die. There's always that freak incident. Sure, you could, but it's no way to live your life. It's no way to live your life. I mean, you could die in a car accident too, but you take that chance. Life is all about taking chances, and you have to weigh and evaluate that risk and say, what's more important here? My irrational fear of dying from a virus with a 99.98% recovery rate, or the well-being of children and their parents and our economy. I mean, we're just poo-pooing the economy. Every time you turn on the news now, it's just fucking doom and gloom. The economy is going down the shithole, right? It sucks, man. And it's all, thank God for Joe Biden. That's all I got to say. Thank God Joe Biden is still a candidate. If there was a viable candidate right now, the election would be over. Like Trump would be fucked. But luckily, there's, Sleepy Joe is the candidate. So we still have a chance. It's not over yet. Okie dokie, folks. Okie dokie. So why don't we take any questions you guys have or anything? I'll ask Turtle Boy. And then we will call it a night. All right, folks. Let us have it. I think it's about 3.3% that die from it at the moment. Yeah, but that's heavily skewed by the elderly. The elderly get like 85 plus. If you get it, your odds of dying are like 20%, 25%, and they get it more often. So the whatever that number that you have there, I'm not sure where that's from, but it's heavily skewed by, the elderly. When you look at the younger people, it's significantly less than that. Other things, saving the South Boston Jeep Surfer for Saturday. Yeah, I want to find out the name first. So yes, probably Saturday. I don't really have that much to say about that unless I get a name, or else it's just a funny video. Any retractions yet from Boston Magazine? None. They did not return my emails, shockingly. Katie Barclay, who I wrote about today. I have been told that she was arrested today. Now, I cannot confirm that. But the blog might have set her off the deep end and she did some crazy shit. So stay tuned with that. I guess she's taken down her Facebook account, I'm told. But thoughts on Trump's statement about delaying the election? I mean, okay, so this is all they're talking about. Trump says crazy shit once in a while. There will not be a delay of the election. However, the point he's bringing up is completely valid. This election it's already fraudulent in my mind. Like, ask Brett Killeran. Ask Brett. Brett lives in Maine. They sent him his voter enrollment information from the Massachusetts Secretary of State to his house in Maine. They want him to register to vote in Massachusetts, and they sent it to his house in Maine. Dead people are getting these letters. Like, there is so much opportunity here for fraud because of the mail-in aspect. And I knew it would be. Like, I knew there would be. You know how I knew? Because Democrats want it. Like, that's all I need to know. Democrats want it. So there's something up there. If all Democrats want it, because remember, Democrats play to win. They're crafty, right? They're good at what they do. They're much better than Republicans at playing the game, winning the game, and stuff like that. I'm like, if Democrats want this, it's for a reason. It's for a goddamn reason. And to me, it's like this election should already be under protest. Mail-in voting. Give me a break. You can show up to vote. You see John Lewis's freaking, I mean, God bless John Lewis, but why does he get a freaking funeral? Why are all these people allowed in a goddamn church? Hundreds of people. Not social distancing. Oh, right, they have masks. The magical masks. I forgot. COVID can't spread when you have a fucking piece of paper over your mouth. I forgot. But if that's the case, why isn't everything open then? Oh, right. Only some people get, like, you know, people like George Floyd, the patron saint of wokeness. He gets his own funeral with hundreds and thousands. He got multiple funerals. Got a whole tour. I mean, it's disgusting. Disgusting what's happening. The Hopkinton, Adam and Eve out of jail yet? I'm not sure. I haven't heard much about them. So, yeah, I mean, I think that I guess they have to have the election, but to me, it's already a fraudulent election. And it's going to be crazy to see. It's just fucked up. Like, this is like the best time every 4 years. I love presidential election season. I love, like, 4 years ago, I don't know if Turtle Riders remember this, old school Turtle Riders. Like, I went to the DNC in Philadelphia in 2016. It was like 100 degrees, and it was a blast. I had so much fun interviewing hippies and hanging out with Bernie bros all day. It was a good time. And, like, right around this time, they're picking their vice presidents and they're, doing convention speeches, and you're really watching the polls and shit like that. And there's just, you wouldn't even know there's a campaign going on right now. Because neither one can campaign. You can't have goddamn rallies. Like, American politics is rallies. Trump's being a pussy about it, too. He had that one in Tulsa and then didn't have another one since. He should just have them. Fuck it. I don't care if Herman Cain died. Herman Cain doesn't regret dying. And a lot of people, you guys see the disgusting people laughing about Herman Cain dying today? It's just gross. I mean, they're just like, oh, he didn't wear a mask and he got COVID and he died. Yeah, he did. That was a chance he took. And I bet you he doesn't regret it. Because that's just the chance you got to take. You got to live your fucking life, man. It is what it is. And Herman Cain lived a great life. And what is the first, all these media outlets, the headlines they're putting out about him is, didn't wear a mask. Like, you're trying to own the cons. When terrorists die, they call them austere religious leaders. And they don't mention the negative parts about their life. But when a Republican dies, they're just like, oh, he didn't wear a mask, so he's dead. It's fucking bullshit. That's how you know that you've made it in life. A lot of people are upset about it. I think it's good. I think it's a sign that Herman Cain did good things in his life. If liberals are dunking on you when you die, that means you won. That means you lived a life worth living. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, like, you see Black Lives Matters having shit, like protests every single night. Why shouldn't Trump have rallies? Give me a break. He's Trump. He's supposed to do whatever he wants. Why is he being such a pussy? Yeah, John King on election night is very good, but, there's just no hype to this campaign, man. It's sad. It could have been a really good campaign. Could have been fun. It's just nothing. Fucking COVID. And that's the way they want it, because they know. I feel like if Hillary was a candidate, they wouldn't even care as much, because Hillary was, mobile somewhat. She wanted to get out there and wanted to speak. Their intention, if it was anybody but Biden, I don't even think this would be happening. They want to hide that motherfucker. He is such a liability. It's not even funny. Good move for Trump to bring the National Guard to Portland. Great move by Trump. But unfortunately, like, Jerry's talking to me about this today, and other people are conservatives are telling me about this. They're like, oh yeah, like, people are going to see the anarchy that's going on in Portland, right? Middle America is going to see the anarchy that's going on in Portland, and they're going to vote Republican. No, they're not, because they're not going to see the anarchy in Portland, because the mainstream media doesn't cover it. And either way, it doesn't matter. That's not, every time I turn on the news, the headline story now is coronavirus. How many people have died? And ultimately, who's going to get blamed for that? I'm not blaming him for it, but Trump will get blamed for that. You understand that? So none of this shit matters. Like Portland, anarchy, Antifa, that's all. Those are all secondary issues. The only thing that matters, and Tucker had a great monologue on this last night, is COVID. That's it. That's all people are going to care about. It's not a coincidence that Trump was winning in the polls and then COVID came and it hasn't gone away and now he's getting killed. There's a reason that no Democrats stopped those protests. They don't want this to go away. This is an election issue and it's working. It is working perfectly. Oi. Other questions? Patrick Chung isn't playing. I don't know what is up with these Patriots not playing, man. What is up with that? Like, why is Dante Hightower not playing? It's just misinformed. They're just misinformed, man. Any other questions? Biden's supposed to be announcing his VP soon. That's going to be one bump, at least, I think that Trump will get, is that no matter who he picks, it's going to be an awful candidate. And they're going to get ripped apart. That's going to be a bump for Trump right there. So, but I feel like there's a reason he hasn't picked one yet, because even they know that. I mean, Notre Dame has canceled the goddamn debate between the two of them. I mean, it's like, we're not going to have fucking debates. Are you kidding me? It's going to be the loser from Georgia who said it was rigged. Oh, absolutely. Stacey Abrams still hasn't given that up. Still hasn't given that up. I already heard it's Kamala Harris. It will most likely be Kamala Harris. She's the heavy favorite right now in Vegas. Actually, let's check out the line on that, shall we? The Vegas line. I check this periodically. People act like these aren't important, like polls and Vegas lines. They are. Vegas does not give money away. That's what I always say. Hold on. All right, let's check out the Vegas betting line here. Sports, politics. There it is. Okay, so right now, it's actually gone down. So this was a couple days ago. This was Democratic Party minus 180, which means you have to bet 180 to win 100. So you are the favorite if you have a minus in front of your name. This was minus 180 a couple days ago. It's down to minus 165 for the Dems, plus 125 for the Republicans. Now, the vice presidential nomination, Kamala Harris is minus 150. So she has a better chance of becoming the vice presidential nominee than the entire field combined. Now, he said it's going to be a woman and most likely a person of color. Yet Elizabeth Warren is still fourth on the list here. Susan Rice, if they bring her up, all the Republicans are going to talk about is Benghazi. She's an establishment Obama hack. Karen Bass is a lunatic from California. I wish he would pick her. Val Demings is one of the impeachment heroes. Pocahontas would be my ultimate dream. If they pick Pocahontas. Tammy Duckworth, the wheelchair chick from Illinois. Michelle Obama, which, by the way, she has a podcast. I don't know if you've seen the goddamn advertisements for it everywhere. Gretchen Whitmer, awful. Hillary Clinton, Stacey Abrams, I don't even know, Michelle Lujan Grisham, Keisha Lance Bottoms from Atlanta. And then Cuomo is the only male on this list, I think. Tulsi Gabbard's a long shot, Tammy Baldwin, and Catherine Cortez Masto from Nevada. Watch out for her. I would put $1 on her. She's Hispanic. I just feel like all of these other ones are too tainted. Too tainted. I think if I'm betting, I would bet on this chick right here, Catherine Cortez Masto. She took over Harry Reid's seat in Nevada in 2016. And it's always like somebody you never expect. But watch, it'll be Kamala. It'll probably be Kamala. Anyway, anything else, guys, before we call it a night? No, it's not going to be Tulsi, guys. Tulsi's been kicked out of that party. They hate her. Yes. M Job says, can we do a podcast dedicated to past presidential election races? I should do that. There've been some doozies, man. There've been some really close, contentious, ugly presidential elections in the past, like the election of 1884 between Grover Cleveland and James Blaine from the state of Maine. Ooh, shit got messy, boy. Let me tell you. The Democrats and Grover Cleveland's people were talking a lot of shit about James Blaine from the state of Maine. They said that the Democratic Party was the party of Rome, Romanism, rum, and rebellion. Now, I apologize. The Republicans said that about the Democrats, but then because Grover Cleveland had an illegitimate kid, and they brought that up. That was a really, really messy election. You don't want to go there. 1876 was another doozy. Rutherford v. Hayes versus Samuel Tilden from Ohio. I could go on a rant about that for an hour. 1960 Nixon versus Kennedy was obviously a huge one because television was the first one involved in that. The boring ones were like the Roosevelt ones. He won all his in a landslide, no problem. The James Monroe ones, James Monroe is the only guy who ever won the presidency when his opponent got 0 electoral votes. He was the only one to skunk his opponent. Never happened since then. The biggest landslides we've had since then really are 1984, Reagan versus Mondale, and 1972, Nixon versus McGovern. Both wipeouts. We couldn't have anything like that today. You couldn't have that today because, like, imagine a Republican winning California and New York. That could never, ever happen. I don't care who the candidate is. It could be Jesus Christ incarnate, right? It's not going... A Republican's not going to win California, so those days are over. Oh, obviously Bush versus Gore was incredibly contentious. Bush-Kerry was good. Gore, the Dole Clinton one was a little boring. The first Bush versus Clinton was a good one. Dukakis versus Bush was a good one. Jimmy Carter versus Reagan was a good one. There's been some good elections. Carter versus Ford was a good one. You name it. It's pretty sad that I can literally name a year, an election year, and I'll tell you who the two candidates were, and I'll tell you all about the election. I can just, off the top of my head, you name the year, I tell you exactly the circumstances involved in that election. Turtleboy is a huge chance to sweep the states. Yes, maybe so. We'll see. Obama-Romney, it wasn't that close. I mean, it was pretty. Obama was going to win that election. Oh, thanks, Kaylin. Kaylin says, Unc, you make history interesting and relatable. Well, thank you very much. Yeah. Oh, I was wrong, actually. George Washington also won the first one because he didn't have anyone run against him. Yeah. So, like I said, pick a year. I'll tell you exactly who ran that year. There's only been 2 candidates who have run for president 3 times and lost. If Hillary runs again, she could be the third, She would be the third. It's only happened twice to 2 people. William Jennings Bryan lost in 1896 to William McKinley. Then he lost in 1900 to William McKinley. And then he got lost in 1908 to William Howard Taft, who got stuck in the White House bathtub. And then who else lost? Henry Clay also lost thrice. He lost to Zachary Taylor. No, not Zachary Taylor. Zachary Taylor was never elected, I don't think. Because he took over when James K. Polk died. So he lost to William Henry Harrison, James K. Polk, and one more time, I forget. Anyway, if you guys don't have any more questions, we'll call it a night. You should write a history book. Yeah, maybe I should. I don't know who would buy it, but probably wouldn't sell that well. But 1860, that was obviously a good one. That was Lincoln. That wasn't Lincoln McClellan. That was Lincoln Douglas. That was obviously a game changer. As soon as that election happened, as soon as Lincoln won that election, the Civil War basically started the next day. And Jay is right. If Texas goes blue, game over for a while, at least. For a while. Protect Texas at all costs. Keep the liberals out. (1856), that would be obviously James Buchanan and the Republican candidate. I can't remember off the top of my head. So maybe not. I'm more like post-Civil War. I know both candidates, but I can tell you who won every election. Put it that way. Yeah, you're right. Taylor died in office. So it went. Okay, so William Henry Harrison died in 30 days. And then John Tyler took over. Never was elected. Then James K. Polk got elected. Only served one term. Then Zachary Taylor got elected. He died a year and a half into his term. And then Millard Fillmore became president. Millard Fillmore was never elected. Then Franklin Pierce got elected. Then James Buchanan got elected for one term. And then Lincoln came around. 1924 those were the Coolidge years. That was John Davis from California versus Calvin Coolidge from Massachusetts. He was the former mayor of Amherst, Massachusetts, the governor of Massachusetts, and that was a landslide election. That was during the Roaring 20s. Didn't Ross Perot lose 3 times? Ross Perot ran twice. He ran in 92 and 96, but it was never as a major party candidate. Hillary ran as a Democrat, so. Yeah, Calvin Coolidge is a funny guy. I'll tell you that much. If I could meet one president, it'd probably be Calvin Coolidge because he's funny as shit. You don't know that from like you're seeing him. Silent Cal, they call him. He didn't talk. He's a funny motherfucker. A reporter tried getting glibby at him, one of these Jim Acosta types back in the 1920s. And he said to Calvin Coolidge, "Mr. President, I bet I can get you to say more than 2 words." And Calvin Coolidge, because he never talked, Calvin Coolidge. And he was not supposed to be president. Calvin Coolidge was a compromise choice for vice president in 1920 when Warren Harding won. But Warren Harding died in 1923, and then Calvin Coolidge became president. He was not expecting to be president. He didn't talk much, believe it or not. And they call him Silent Cal, and they said, "Mr. President, I bet I can get you to say more than 2 words." And Calvin Coolidge said to the reporter, "You lose." And everybody pointed and laughed. So that was my favorite Calvin Coolidge moment. Yeah, Horace Mello got it right. Horace Mello knows that one. There it is. So Horace is a student of history as well. Amity Schley is a great historian. I'm a big fan of Amity. Do you think a general or similar rank be elected president ever again? Possibly. Good question. I don't think so, to be perfectly honest. Not like anytime soon. Yes, he did. Calvin Coolidge was the governor of Massachusetts when the Boston police went on strike in 1919, which is arguably the craziest year in American history. There was a lot of bombings that year. The Palmer raids happened in 1919. Sacco and Vanzetti was 1919. It was a really tumultuous year in American history, and it brought in, a return to normalcy under Warren Harding. But yeah, in 1919, the Boston police went on strike, and Calvin Coolidge was the governor, and he became kind of a national figure because he literally fired the entire police department. He said that nobody has a right to strike against the state at any time. And people like that because it's complicated. I could get into the whole organized labor and Bolsheviks. It's a little complicated. We don't have time to get into that right now. But yeah, the Spanish flu was going on that year. World War I had just ended that year. How do you feel about Brexit? I mean, Laura would be better suited to talk about it. I'm a Nigel Farage guy. So I'm for Brexit just because it pisses off liberals. But I know Laura's in favor of it. My wealthy uncle in London, my wealthy liberal uncle, he's against Brexit. He's a good liberal. All the good liberals are against it. It was a populist right-wing thing that actually won. And it kind of foreshadowed the Trump election too. But I'm not familiar enough to have an educated opinion on it. Coolidge was the original Reagan. That's true. Actually, Ronald Reagan said of Calvin Coolidge, I used to have quotes in my classroom. his quote about Calvin Coolidge was that if he did all of that by doing nothing, maybe that's the answer. Ronald Reagan modeled his presidency after Calvin Coolidge. Like that was their response, is like the less the government does, the better. Yes, Silent Cal he's from Vermont. He's a Green Mountain boy. Must have moved south at one point because he did become the mayor, I believe the mayor of Amherst. A lot of shit in Amherst. My dorm at UMass was named after Calvin Coolidge. No, it's right and left, actually. Not familiar. All right. Anything else, guys, before we call it a night? I love how Alina's here every single time. That lady's crazy. As abusive and nuts as she is, though, she's a lot better than Amanda Sawyer. Amanda Sawyer was fucking stressful, man. Stressful. All right. Oh, Northampton. Is that what he's the mayor of Northampton? Okay, but he lived in Amherst. I'm pretty sure he lived in Amherst. But you're right. He's from Western Mass. All right, guys. So I guess we'll call it a night. It's 10:30. We'll see you guys all. Lots of lefts were in favor of Brexit too. Yeah, that would make sense because how else could it pass, right? How else could you get a majority unless some leftists were in on it too? All right, guys. I guess we'll see you all on Saturday night. Peace, Turtle Riders. Papito.